Hey you guys, what I'm going to show you today is how to go ahead and use Google Earth and Skitch for the first part of our project. These are two really cool apps that you can do a lot with. So let's get ready to have some fun using Google Earth and Skitch. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to do a search on my iPad for Google Earth. To do a search, I'm simply going to touch in a space between some apps and just pull straight down, and then this search bar comes up. This allows me to search my iPad for all of my apps. So I'm going to type in Google, begin typing in Google, and you can see Google Earth comes up. So I'm just going to touch on Google Earth to open the app up. Now, when it does, it might ask you some questions if it can access, photos, if it can access location. Go ahead and say yes to everything. It's fine. And then when you are ready, you're going to see this search bar here at the top. You can see that Google Earth automatically went back, defaulted to my last search, which was Berwyn. So I'm going to do a new search. I'm just going to simply just touch inside that little box. And then I'm going to type in what I'm looking for. Our country that we're going to be researching and doing is called Vietnam. So I start typing it, and you can see that Vietnam appears. So I can touch on Vietnam, and then whee, I take off, right? You can see how far it is. So I've went all the way across our country, headed west. I went over the Pacific Ocean, and now here I am in Vietnam. And you will notice that Vietnam falls along the shore of the South China Sea. So this is a satellite image. Now, what's really cool is if you touch these three buttons, it's going to give you more options of things that you can see on the satellite. If I, for example, if I uncheck borders and labels, you will notice that the borders and the labels disappear. If I uncheck roads, then the roads disappear. So if I want to see those things, I can just simply check it, and it will help give me more information about the country that I'm researching, which is what you want to do. You want to learn more. So you can leave them checked, unchecked, it's up to you. When I'm done with that, I'm just going to touch on the screen, and now I can actually like zoom in to see more of Vietnam. So I just pinch and zoom in, and you can see now I can see more of Vietnam. I can get in closer, and now I can start seeing rivers. I can start seeing these other roads, it looks like. The more I zoom in, the more I can see. And this image is going to tell you a lot about the country. You can see some areas are more heavily forest, right? These dark areas are heavily forest, so I can assume that these are jungles. So you can learn a lot about the geography by just zooming in and doing some searches and looking. You can see some other like towns. This is a town right here. Right here is a town. So if I zoom in, I can start seeing this little town. Okay, kind of or is that a road? Looks like a road. Maybe a road, small town, who knows? Um, so it's actually very, very cool. You can do a lot of things with it. So do play with it for a minute to learn more about it. Once you have found an image of Vietnam that you like, and it should be an image of the entire country, you're going to go ahead and you're going to take a screenshot. So let me get back up here. Whoa. Trying to find Vietnam again. There it is. All right, so I have Vietnam right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot. Power button and the home button together. Click it. There it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into Skitch. And then to get into Skitch, I'm going to do another search on my iPad. Type in Skitch. Skitch comes up. And again, your screen may not look like this, but if you get prompted to access your photos and your camera and all that stuff, say yes. It's important because you'll want to use that stuff. I'm going to take my image, which is right there, and I'm going to just touch it to open it up. Now, this is where it gets a lot of fun. Here is where you can change the color that you're using, and here are all the options. So I'm going to see what options I have. Right now, it's highlighted on the arrow. So I can actually add in arrows to my screenshot to point to certain things on the map. If I touch the arrow, you can see that these other options appear. The A is for text. This is a square. I think it's a text box. This is to paint or draw. This is, I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. Didn't play with it. This is where you can add an emoji. And I know a lot of you like emojis. Do me a favor on your projects. Some emojis are fine. Do not go emoji crazy, Emily. And then this is pixelation, which that's way advanced. Don't even worry about that yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on arrow, and I am just going to have an arrow pointing directly to Vietnam. So all I have to do is I have to touch the screen, and then with my finger, and then pull it in towards Vietnam, and then the arrow magically appears. Oh, how cool. So then, but that arrow is just pointing. What is that arrow pointing to? Well, again, I can come back here. I can touch on that arrow to open up other options. I'm going to choose text because I want to draw a text box. I want to label my arrow. So I'm going to touch by the tip of my arrow, and I'm going to type in what it is. Vietnam. Okay. And then there it is. And I have Vietnam placed nicely. If I touch on the outside of the text box, you can see that the text box forms, and now I can move the text box to have it, you know, make it look a little bit neater. I can drag on the arrow to make the text box smaller or bigger. It's entirely up to you. If I wanted to add in something else, I can add in an emoji. So let's see. I have this one. I don't even know what it is, but there it is. So now I have an emoji right by my little arrow. So there's so many things that you can do with this. It's just really is a lot of fun. I can paint. I don't know what I can do with it. Let's see. I don't even know what this is. Oh, look, I'm drawing. So I can paint things on here. I can change my color. You know, it didn't change for me. There, it should change. Yes, it changed. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I can do with it. So play with it. But what I want you to do with this is I want you to highlight and label certain parts of Vietnam that you found. You know, it could be foresty areas or jungle areas. It could be major towns. It could be maybe mountains or deserts. Anything of interest to somebody when they're looking at this. Don't go labeling crazy, but just some things that you found. It might be a road, it could be a river, it could be a town, it could be anything. But just a couple of things that you would like people to notice. And when you're done with that, you're going to take another screenshot of this, and it's going to be saved to your camera roll. So that's really all there is to it. Find some things that you find interesting, that you would like to share with other people about Vietnam, and label them right there on your map so they can see them. Best of luck to you.